Okay, well,
Never mind, it's in Memphis, I'm sorry.
okay. All right, here we are back with a week 2 predictions video. Not gonna be joined by anybody this week, so it should be a good quick video. If you've got any problems with people or something like that, or with the way they play their game, make sure you're messaging one of the commissioners. That's myself, the Bears user, eFly, he's the Bills, Adrian, he's the Ravens, Dwayne, he's the Cowboys, Dean, he's the Packers, and CJ, he's the Seahawks. One of us, I'm sure, is online at any time. We'll get any kind of issues figured out. Make sure you're streaming your games. They're supposed to be streamed. There should be all divisional games as well as games of the week. Um, if your Wi-Fi's trash or something like that, make sure you let somebody know that is a valid reason you wouldn't have to stream. But somebody's gonna need to know about that ahead of time. If you're interested in joining a predictions video or something like that, make sure you're telling one of the before mentioned commissioners. We're just going to do a basic thing this week. Going to go through some players of the week, go through these predictions. I know some games have already been played that had some good finishes, so we're going to get into that. Let's go ahead and start it off with these awards. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Tyree Jackson's first week as a Packer goes well. 17 of 25, 381, 4 passing touchdowns. He also had 7 carries for 46 yards and a fumble. So a good week for Tyree Jackson. NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Lorenzo Carter for the Giants. 7 tackles, 2 sacks, and a pick. Good all-around game there. AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Savon racking up the rushing yards, 16 carries, 246, and 3 scores, averaging 15 yards carry. Jackie Polite, a former protege of Savon's, got traded to Kansas City a few years back. But 8 tackles, 5 sacks, and a forced fumble. He was all over the field for the Chiefs in their 31-0 shutout of the Raiders. All right, let's go ahead and get into these predictions. We got the few games already been played. Uh, Looks like Bears and Panthers. I know it was all around rushing day for the Bears. Had lots of rushing yards from two-headed monster attack. Only threw 3 passes. Um, Tony Pollard looks like he ran for 179 and 4 scores. Tariq Cohen added 135 and 2 scores. Mariota had a big run in there too, as well. Not much receiving. Jerry Jeudy had 72 yards and a touchdown. On this side, McCaffrey had 72. Both quarterbacks did very well. Trevor Lawrence's chance at revenge on the Bears after shipping him here in the offseason fell very much so short. Defense side of the ball, Keanu Neal was the main man. He had 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 forced fumbles. Ronnie Harrison had 8 tackles as well for the Panthers. And a 92-yard pick six by a rookie in there as well. Let's look here. We got the Texans and the Colts. Apparently, it's a good game. Twan watched it. 2 of his division rivals. Colts won the game despite having 3 more turnovers. So really, really different there. That usually doesn't happen. Deshaun Watson did just enough. 140, a touchdown. Kyler Murray had a touchdown and 2 picks. Rushing the ball here, Nyheim Hines at 79 rushing yards and a score. Looks like Lavosa Carroll also had a rushing touchdown there. Receiving, Baskerville, rookie, with 68 and a touchdown. DJ Mays, 46 and a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, Brandon Smith, uh, come over from the Raiders to the Texans, had 9 tackles, led the way. Looks like 2 picks there with the Texans. Also, fumble recovery. Good wins for the Colts there. Something to build on. Um, let's see here. We got the Buccaneers at the Ravens. Actually, let me update Daddy Leagues while I'm working on this real fast. I would want to make sure I'm doing that. That way, because people message me about it all the damn time. Let's see, it's done. Um, okay, we got the Bucks and who are 1-0 against the 0-1 Ravens. Uh, we know Jap's a good user. Took a loss last week. Bucks, we know he can play. That roster's still stacked as hell. Um, it's going to be a tough game. I think the Tampa Bay is going to win it closely. I'm not taking anything away from GA's finest, but that roster is going to get the W here, I believe. Two decent users. Got the Jets and the Packers. Both these teams are 1-0. Jets hasn't played this year. He got a forced win last week over the Lions. Packers looking to continue his success. It's a Tyree Jackson revenge game here versus Camden Andrews for the Packers. These two teams switched quarterbacks in the offseason. So it'll be really interesting to see who can lead the way and have a better day here. I'm tempted to take Dean in this game. I think it should be close, but that Jets team is just going to be too much. I'm going to take the Jets here by 7 to 10 points. We got the Bengals at the Steelers. Steelers got a forced win last week over the Titans. He's not going to be getting that luck here. We know how Savon plays. Heavy rushing attack last week. I'm sure he's going to continue with that. Give me the Bengals big here. Titans at Redskins. It's going to be a Redskins forced win. Twan serving his second of 2-game suspension. So next week he'll be back firing. I'm curious to see who he plays next week. He's got himself a good game against the Broncos next week, so it's going to be a tough one. Probably a game of the week. Saints at Browns. Two heavy running teams. Both like to run the ball. Both have decent defense, especially in the secondary. I'm going to take the Browns here. I think that their rushing dash is going to be a little too much to handle for the Saints. And defense should do just enough. Low scoring game here. Give me the Browns. Vikings at Lions. I know Lions got a lot going on his schedule, but he's trying to play his games this year, he's told me. If he plays this game, which I assume he's going to win a close one over Herc. He may not be able to play it. In that case, it would be Herc's victory. Now, there's nothing against Herc. I think he's a really good user. But I think this Lions team is just a better team, a better offense on both sides of the ball. Defense is very similar in that regard, but should be a relatively low-scoring game. We got the Dolphins at the Jaguars. Dolphins heartbreaking lost last week to the Bears, so I know they're looking to jump back with a victory here. I think they're going to get it done in Jacksonville. He's got a heavy, strong rushing attack. He's going to lean on that. Jacksonville's still kind of getting used to this team, so I'm going to take the Dolphins here to win this game. Eagles at 49ers. We know the Eagles plays made the playoffs like 2 out of the last 3 years, maybe 3 out of the last 4, something like that. San Francisco still in the hunt, trying to make a playoff push. Lost a close one last week to Dean. He did force a lot of turnovers. I think he's going to give Lewis a good run for his money here, but I'm going to take Philadelphia in a very close game. We got the Broncos at the Patriots. This is one of our games of the week. We know both these users can play. Both users won a game in the playoffs last year. Man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game here. I'm leaning towards the Patriots. I think that Denver plays more consistent defense. He's a little less turnover prone as well, and he has the better quarterback. For those reasons there, I'm going to take Denver in a very close game here. I'm going to say 3 points over the Patriots. Should be a shootout. Definitely looking forward to watching that one. We got the Cardinals at the Seahawks. CJ has told me he is here to play this week. This season he's going to play all his games, and that's something the league should be paying attention to because CJ can definitely play. He's 0-1. The Cards are 1-0 at the moment. I think that Seattle's going to come in here, and they're going to smack the Cardinals around. I'm giving me Seattle by 14 to 21 points. This is one of my bold predictions of the week. I think Cardinals have lost some players on both sides of the ball, and he's not going to be able to keep up with that Seattle passing attack. We got the Raiders at the Chargers. Don't really know this Chargers user very well. He's 0-1. Raiders also 0-1. Raiders were shut out last week. I believe the Chargers lost pretty handily as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 42-7 to Denver. So it'll be a battle of the bad here to see who can get a better game going. I'm going to take the Raiders. They have a little better rushing attack, I believe. Even though the roster's not quite as good, I think he's going to be a little less turnover prone. He's got all this free agents he brought in, so I'm going to take the Raiders here. Falcons at Rams. This is the second game of the week. Game's already been started. Having some technical difficulties there. Game got dropped. I really hope this game gets played and gets finished because I know this is something the league wants. I'm all against forced losses and things like that. But under the scenario these two can't work out of time or something like that, it's going to be a forced win for Jimmy and the Rams here. Next we get the Bills and the Chiefs. Same type of situation. Hope the game gets played. Really look forward to it. I want to see how Parker and E-Fly go against each other. Didn't get a chance to watch it earlier. It's going to be a Bills force win if the game doesn't get played, but if it does, then you can expect a very good game here. Next, we got the Cowboys at the Giants, our finale. Another NFC East battle here. I know the Giants looking to make a stronger push this year, win his division. it's going to be really interesting in this game. I think if the Cowboys can keep their turnovers down, he's going to win the game. But Dwayne turns the ball over more than just about anybody else in the entire league. And for that reason alone, I'm going to take Peso and his rushing attack with Saquon Barkley. I think that's going to pretty much it. Pretty much do it for the predictions video. Just a quick one this week. Definitely would like to have somebody else here next week. Just make sure you're messaging one of the commissioners about that. We'll get it worked out. Everybody have a good day.